Post-COVID, there'll be several major new segments that will emerge in India. The most significant new category for Indian startups, we believe, will be in healthcare. Today, we don't have any Indian unicorns in health. Is that amazing? Here's the third largest healthcare ecosystem, startup ecosystem in the world. We have over 30 unicorns, but we don't have a single health unicorn. And Mr. Murthy referred to one part of that innovation we haven't seen yet. But I believe that over the next decade, we could have many Indian unicorns in health. And that's a very, very big change. And I'll talk a little bit about why that is. 2 weeks ago, I was on a call with the team at iSpirit. I don't know how many of you have heard of iSpirit, but this is the team that was a major driving force behind building what's called the India Stack. The India Stack is several layers of public digital infrastructure that has Aadhaar as the foundation and many layers built on top, including UPI. This team is now building the India Stack for Health. India Stack for Health. Think of this as the public infrastructure, the public digital infrastructure that will enable digital health at scale. In fact, they're building the health stack by accelerating all aspects of the health stack focused on COVID-19. It's incredible to see what they're doing. All of you, I'm sure, will hear about it over the next few weeks or months to come. This public infrastructure, combined with regulatory changes, will lead to a large number of new opportunities for Indian startups in healthcare. The first massive opportunity that we're already witnessing, that is literally only 3 or 4 weeks old, is telemedicine. Telemedicine has inflected. In fact, if you want to see a growth curve that is steeper than the steepest COVID graph that you've seen, right? These exponential graphs, that's telemedicine in India. And the reason is really very simple. A few weeks ago, India changed the regulation that enabled telemedicine, right? Before that, a doctor couldn't really provide you an online prescription. So that was one big change, right? Now you could actually do it and it's legal. But actually the bigger change was not that. The bigger change was doctors. I don't know how many of you have thought of this, but your doctor, whether it's your GP or your specialist, believe it or not, doesn't want to see you in person today. They would much rather have a chat or a video call with you. And that then rather having you show up at their clinic or at the hospital. And these two things combined, right? Change in regulation combined with change in the behavior of doctors is leading to this explosive growth in telemedicine. And I know we're very confident we're going to see several large companies that will be built on the back of telemedicine. Given COVID, in a few months, all of us will have a unique health ID. Think of this as a health passport that has all your health vitals, especially the COVID-related ones, right? Things like immunity. Mr. Murthy talked about testing. Your body temperature is the new most important vital for the next 24 months. This health ID will determine everything that you do. Do you go to the office or factory? Can you board a plane? Can you attend a concert? In fact, Mr. Murthy talked about running an experiment to get people back to work. Well, we're going to have some form of, not only large-scale testing, but really this notion of a unique health ID to be confident to be able to send hundreds of millions of Indians back to work. Post-COVID, we'll also see the rise of many new categories related to our overall health, from fitness to disease management to mental wellness. All these segments will become large as consumer behavior continues to change in many ways we can't imagine today. India today has a few very early stage startups in the whole space of mental wellness. Here's one thing I can tell you. Over the next 2 or 3 years, mental wellness is going to become a massive topic. In fact, this morning, I was moderating a panel where one of the speakers talked about the early data on mental wellness in India. And week on week, we are seeing significant deterioration of how Indians are feeling when it comes to this topic of mental wellness. And that obviously creates the imperative that we develop solutions for mental wellness. AI-driven healthcare solutions and even medical devices will take center stage in Indian innovation. I agree with Mr. Murthy. I wish we would have come up with that one innovation or many innovations China has. But Mr. Murthy, they're coming. A few weeks ago, the entire Indian venture capital industry and many startup founders got together and launched an initiative called Action for COVID-19 Team. It's called ACT. And we created a corpus of 100 crores and have give grants to scalable Indian solutions focused on COVID. The innovations we are seeing are incredible, right? We've given grants to over 25 Indian innovators. And I must tell you, I'm deeply impressed to see both the innovativeness of these solutions, but more importantly, the kind of impact these solutions are going to have. And they range from preventing the spread of COVID-19 to ICU care, all the way through, ventilators and PPE and so on and so forth. And some of these companies you'll hear about, right? So although we haven't had many sort of breakout medical device companies in India. I think they're coming down the pike. And what COVID-19 is going to do is it's going to create opportunities for these companies that maybe would have taken 5, 7, 10 years to scale very, very quickly in a very short period of time.